Okay, I mean, this is a total disaster. Tobias Harris has to keep his man in front of him with his back to the baseline so you can chase over the top. James Harden has to see actually what his man is doing, get his arms out so Jason Tatum can't curl. None of this happens. Tobias Harris goes up the gut. James Harden's nowhere to be found. So now Jason Tatum can just catch, turn, two. Okay, so Jason Tatum sets a flare screen right here. Okay, that's fine. But Tobias Harris, okay, stop. Done setting the flare screen. If you're Tobias Harris, you got to sprint up here, get in a defensive stance with your feet set. Look at Tobias Harris. This is walking. So what happens now? Because you're walking this way, Jason Tatum's going to beat you backdoor. What does that do? That brings help. That has the defense scrambling. That leads to a Derek White three. Okay, I mean, if you're Tobias Harris here, you cannot just be staring at the ball. You got to be seeing the ball and your man at all times. Like, you're only seeing the ball right now. So what ends up happening? Well, Al Horford's setting a flare screen, and you have no idea that flare screen is coming because you weren't even looking at your man. Okay, I mean, if you're Embiid right here, you got to be ready to guard in transition. Like, Joel Embiid is just jogging to the middle of nowhere right now. Like, you're not guarding anything, and now Al Horford's open. Okay, Tyrese Maxey's in backside help a little too early here. Robert Williams III hasn't even set the screen. When he sets the screen, then you come in backside help. You're right now just standing in the middle of the paint for no reason. So now Marcus Smart can just get it, go, draw help, Robert Williams III dunk. I mean, what is Joel Embiid doing right now? Like, your man Robert Williams III is up here. He's about to set a ball screen. Why are you standing there with your hands on your knees? Like, you should be up here ready to guard this ball screen. Like, you're just nowhere to be found. Okay, I mean, if you're Paul Reed right here, Robert Williams III is about to set a ball screen right here. When he sets this screen, your feet have to be set in a defensive stance. Like, look at Paul Reed right here. Here comes the screen. Paul Reed is not in a defensive stance with his feet set. In drop coverage, you have to obviously keep the ball in front of you. Paul Reed is not going to do that. Okay, I mean, what is P.J. Tucker doing right here? Like, just get in a defensive stance with your feet set, see the ball, see your man Jaylen Brown. Like, where's he going? Your feet aren't set. So you're going this way. Jaylen Brown hasn't gone anywhere. So now he's about to come off of a ball screen here. Look at the space that's created. So you have not going to have anywhere near the amount of time to get over this screen. Wide open. If you are P.J. Tucker, you cannot backpedal in transition if you're guarding Jaylen Brown. You got to sprint back, get your feet set in a defensive stance. I mean, come on with this. You think you're going to be able to play off of your back foot while Jaylen Brown has a full head of steam going downhill. Okay, if you're James Harden here and you're guarding Jaylen Brown one-on-one, as soon as you see him turn to lower his shoulder into you right now, you need to initiate the contact. Because if you just wait for Jaylen Brown, that first contact Jaylen Brown's going to make is going to push you backwards. And that's exactly the spot where Jaylen Brown wants to get to, and now it's a hoop +1. Okay, so we got a James Harden turnover right here. If you're DeAnthony Melton right here, transition defense, you have got to sprint back. Like, look at DeAnthony Melton. This is way too casual. So, again, what are you doing? You're playing off your back foot guarding Jaylen Brown. 2 points. I mean, there's 3 seconds left in the half. I mean, Joel Embiid has got to get up if James Harden's going to come double here. You got to rotate here and DeAnthony Melton rotate to the corner. There's no time left to do anything else other than guard this. Okay, Joel Embiid is guarding Al Horford here. Why does Joel Embiid just say, I'm just going to stand in the middle of nowhere and not guard Al Horford? What? I mean, what is Joel Embiid doing here? If this is supposed to be a switch, which it ends up being, then Joel Embiid has got to be up here in a defensive stance, ready to guard Jason Tatum. Like, Jason Tatum comes off the screen. This is supposed to be a switch, right? Well, Joel Embiid, this is not a defensive stance. Your feet are next to each other, and this is just a blow-by. Okay, so Joel Embiid is playing on Jaylen Brown's side right here. His feet are not level to each other. He's giving him the baseline. So this Tobias Harris has to already start to move. Like, Jaylen Brown's coming this way, so there's either going to be help there or there's not. And then James Harden would rotate if a pass goes here. You'd rotate, you'd rotate, you'd rotate. But, I mean, you know, it's just not there. The 76ers are in drop coverage, sort of, because James Harden's going to barely try and get over the screen. But again, if Joel Embiid's in drop coverage, he's switching, it doesn't matter. You got to be in a defensive stance. This is not a defensive stance. So Jason Tatum comes off the screen. Look at this. You have zero chance of keeping the ball in front of you. Okay, so we got a loose ball right here. This is a horrendous gamble by P.J. Tucker. Do you think you're getting this ball right now? Okay, because if the answer is no, and it's definitely no, and you gamble and try and get it, well, now Marcus Smart's wide open. I mean, this is just another question of where in the world is Joel Embiid? You're guarding Jaylen Brown. So why? Well, Jaylen Brown's up here. Why are you in the paint? So now when Jaylen Brown catches this ball, you are not ready to guard him. So again, this is just an easy blow-by. Okay, so James Harden goes up with the shot right here. PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris are both just standing. So you got one of them, both of them should sprint back at the shot. If none of them do this, now James Harden's stuck playing off his back foot guarding Jaylen Brown, and I think we know how that goes. Okay, so Joel Embiid is guarding Robert Williams III. Drop coverage is fine. This is not drop coverage. This is just you standing under the basket and giving up a wide open three. Come on, get up a little so you can guard the ball. So we're just going to let Malcolm Brogdon walk right into a practice three. Okay, so this is a 5-on-3 with Tobias Harris and DeAnthony Melton trailing the play right here. So DeAnthony Melton does a great job hustling, so this is not a catch-and-shoot three. But once DeAnthony Melton does this, stop. Tobias Harris has to keep the ball in front of him. What you cannot do is look at Tobias Harris gamble right there, boom. So now you're out of the play too. And I mean, now it's just who's open. Okay, come on, Jason Tatum is walking the ball up the floor. DeAnthony Melton has an hour to just get his feet set, be in a defensive stance. Why on earth are you backpedaling? Look, so you're back, stop. So Robert Williams III doesn't even have to screen you because you're already beat. You're playing off your back foot. So this is just an easy blow-by. I mean, literally. Okay, if the 76ers are trapping right here, that's fine, but James Harden can't be standing here. You got to get up here. You're not worried about this pass being made because Niang could rotate, James Harden would come here. But the second Robert Williams III catches this ball, the Celtics have numbers. So you should be worried now, and there is no rotating out of this. It's just a matter of which Celtics player is going to be wide open, Derek White. If you're Georges Niang, this makes my head explode. When Marcus Smart gets this pass right here, your only focus is Marcus Smart. He has the ball in his hands. If a screen comes, DeAnthony Melton will tell you. Look at Georges Niang right here. Look at him looking for a screen. Well, Marcus Smart has the ball, and now you're not ready to guard him because of that. Okay, so the 76ers are in a zone. Why is Joel Embiid guarding error? You have someone near the zone, Al Horford. PJ Tucker's got to get up on the wing. I mean, Joel Embiid is just standing around guarding who exactly? Okay, so Grant Williams goes up with this shot right here when there's not one single 76ers player boxing out on the perimeter. Where do you think a long rebound's going to go to? It's going to go right back to Boston. They get another crack at it, and that's one more crack than they needed. Okay, Tobias Harris is going to take on this responsibility guarding Jason Tatum one-on-one. The second, look, right now, he's turning to lower his shoulder, and you need to get up and make contact. Because if you just wait for Jason Tatum to make contact with you, like you're doing, that first contact is going to send you backwards. And that's all the space Jason Tatum needs. If DeAnthony Melton is coming to trap right here, like you got to say something. Because Tobias Harris then would close this area off and force Jason Tatum right into this help. And then you could rotate, and then you'd rotate, you'd rotate, you'd rotate. But I mean, DeAnthony Melton's coming to trap right here, and Tobias Harris is letting him go away from that trap. Step back three.